Thanks, everyone, for joining us for Western Mass News at 5. I'm Chris Pisano. Now, in the last few months, we've seen Eversource bills seemingly skyrocket to new highs, leaving many confused and concerned by the utility company. Western Mass News reporter Wesley Days got answers for us on what these fees mean.
Well, we here at Western Mass News have been hearing a lot from all of you at home about your Eversource bills, from the phone to the email, and today on social media, we asked you what are some of the biggest questions you have for the utility company. Emily wants to know, why are delivery fees so much higher than the cost of what we actually use? Well, Emily, I got some news for you, my friend. I reached out to Eversource, and to see how much are those delivery fees and what they actually are, let's talk about it.
Eversource told me, in general, the delivery portion of a customer's natural gas bill includes investments in infrastructure to ensure safe, reliable service for customers, as well as costs for valuable state programs such as energy efficiency and residential assistance.
On Monday, Eversource held a meeting about the bills in Springfield. They explained, but people are fed up.
There are several months where my gas charges are $4, $2, and $1, and my delivery charges are $28, $24, and $20.
Well, those fed up with those gas delivery charges, like the people on social media, should also be fed up with the supply rates and Mother Nature, apparently.
Eversource says, additionally, the total increase includes supply costs, which are vulnerable to market forces and typically increase during the winter months, fluctuating year to year based on market conditions and weather. Overall, for gas customers, it's been tough. Eversource puts it to us plainly. In total, the rate adjustments that took place on November 1st represented an approximately 29.5% increase for EGMA residential heating customers compared to last year. Well, there's hope. Kind of. Eversource apparently says, quote, we filed a plan today, Tuesday, that makes a 10% reduction to the local delivery adjustment charge, LDAC, for March and April, while also ensuring that we can continue to build on our collective progress in achieving the Commonwealth's clean energy goals.
But what if I told you that short-term relief is more like a short-term loan? We'll have details tonight at 6. Reporting in the newsroom, Wesley Days, Western Mass.